I had to do a double take to make sure Nargargole was not Nick Dutch. Metaphysical terms can be a sort of crutch. The only terms that can be upheld in their whole are devotion and sensuality. Are we passive or active in picking a grimoire and choosing a deity? If it is direct without flicking at sincerity, let it be for thee. My reasons for starting the TOTAF vlog, me, about it, Draconium Arcanum. The 11th Enochian author is sort of the place of creation and destruction in that system. Alternative spiritualities, often a result of experience that Christianity seems not to explain. Sometimes it is the abuses of priest and statecraft. Sometimes it is knowledge or understanding that seems contrary. By mine own animal nature, I realize that my unofficial beliefs that I hold firmly are still dogma. How can I become a vampire or a werewolf? A few ideas from Black Witch S. Shapeshifting is psychic and are spiritual to me. There are demons who take on forms like that which are not physical, but it can be sensually experienced to those who are open. I agree that most of the pro-vampire stuff is escapism. What is this? Adversarial light, TOPH, and self-initiation. That's a Michael W. Ford video that I'm commenting on, isn't it? Does it only remain left-hand path till it is passed on? How can a text be a Bible with one author? Wouldn't Gaborium versus Chesedim be the left elbow and Martian versus the right elbow and the jovial? Demonology existed before Christianity rather than them just demonizing the old. Satan, Satanas, of the prince of powers of air, can be a symbol of doing for yourself and thinking for yourself instead of intercession, stripping mysticism of mysticism seems a daunting and pointless task. The Nephilim, like myths, are often connected to earlier races or species of humans, are shape-shifting or taking on powers not of humans. Apophis is the subject of my response to the alt-right frog, Pepe. Why would acting like a theistic Satanist be needed to empower oneself as an atheist? Me, I invoke... Okay. Me, I evoke an incarnate one. Me, I evoke towards my own darkness. Me, I evoke towards myself illuminating. Me, I evoke towards my own knowledge. Me, I evoke towards my own physical power. Me, I evoke towards my freedom. Me, I evoke towards my sensual experience. Me, I evoke towards my own psychic realms. Me, I evoke towards my own spiritual experience. And, okay. What? Word about figures, malediction. I think I'll throw in a comment here. Okay, under the key to the evil magic is The monarchy. Singh Ambuth is said to have his will in packs. Rabid Anadas is said to provide information to invoke, evoke, and bind himself. Rabid Inadap is said to give the decree through his subjects. The pacts are implicit and explicit. They may involve the archdemons of the four winds. Is that of the east, particularly focused on as one incense mixed with the blood of the practitioner, or a young male goat is offered. The spirit of the east is thought to be Amadio or Samuel, or Orions, or Urias, or Baal, or Asmodel, or Magoa. The spirit of the south is called Amamon, or Mahazzuel, or Maimon, or Moimon, or Egyim. The spirit of the west is called Bayamon, or Paimon, or Azazal, or Poimon. The spirit of the north is called Agin, or Azael, or Agion, or Amamon. Then are the three powers, subordinates and spirits. Lucifer is over Put or Sant, Satanakia, and Agaliarap. Beelzebuth is over Tarchimache, or Tarchimache, and Flerute. Astaroth is over Sagatana and Nesperos. Remember that other pentagram star, the letters in that? I'm thinking that that's the entity that we're talking about. That they're talking about. The 18 under the Duke, Sirach, vary, some in order and variation of the name per grimoire, but we have the same basic list. Klaunik is over wealth, Musissin is over political power, Bakaud is over the weather, Fremost is over women and girls and enjoyment thereby, Klepoth is over the dance, Kil is over earthquakes and related phenomenon, Merfilde is over your transportation, Clisthert is over the phenomenon of night and day, Circade is over animals, Segal is over hybrids and what seem to be miracles, Peketh is over bringing things and beings to you, Hamatz is over books and I presume media, Fricasira is over resurrection and necromancy in general, Galand is over excitement and disease, Sargot is over locks and ciphers, Aurel is over invincibility, Frutimira is over feasting and being in general, Huik te Egara is over sleep and wakefulness, Satanachia and Satan Ika are said to be over four powers, which are over 32 to 54 demons. Serguthe are Sugunth. Heramal are Eramal. Trimasel or Trimasael or Irmasael, and Sastugriel or Safugiel are the two main and simple powers. Serguthe is for power over women for good reasons. Haramael is a teacher of medicine. Trimacel is a guide for chemists, and prestidigitation, magic of the vulgar sense. It has nothing to do with religion, but just making a show. Sustugriel is a teacher of the occult that is thought to give familiar spirits and mandrakes, very potent herbs symbolically and otherwise. Under the two Agaliorep or Agaliaraps and Tarihimal or Tharithimal is Elkogap or Eleogap or Elelogap over water. Under the two Neberots or Nambrot and probably Sagatana is Gon Geuraz Eon, Hal, and Sergulath. Hal is over writing and language in general. Sergulath is over war, crushing enemies and ventures. The latter two are over Proculo, Harestum, Brufer, Pentagnane, or Pentagnene, Aglasis, Seed, Ragasum, Minasans, or Minasam, and Bukan, or Bukans. Proculo is over 24 hours sleeping, the stages of sleep and prophecy. Heristum is over not being burned upon exposure to fire. Brufer is over love from women and teaching what happens in the heavens. Pentagnane is over the love of political elite and invisibility. Aglasis is over movement throughout the world and destruction of enemies. Sidragasam is over young women being made to dance or to be strippers. Minasans, or Minasam, is over gambling and games of chance. Bukan, or Bukans, or Bukans, is over arising hatred and jealousy between you and one of the opposite sex. Other demonarchy seems to not fall into a noted order within Grimorium Verum, but more detail of the hierarchy of demons does now, and will emerge. And let me tell you what the next in the series is going to be. Loaded message. How to use a coffin for a voodoo doll. Demonology and Luciferianism. Okay, I'm gonna... Okay, I'm going to share this, yet another one. How to use a coffin with a voodoo doll spell. My neighbor makes coffins of different sizes. I do not know what he does aside from display them. Containers and contents are objects projected upon rather than actually containing psychic energy. Even for a ritual series that took days can be reused. But association should be very deliberate and reaffirmed. And I'm going to go through this. Okay. I am seeing something. So what's this one called? Zarathustrian Religion, Philosophy, and History. And so there's another video that I'd like to say. I believe Zarathustra would be displeased with the priest and statecraft attributed to him. Society tends to act like the material and social culture was the message of a prophet, to the point that they make the same they opposed out to be following the prophet. Used to sing a song in church, follow the prophet, follow the prophets, follow the prophet, do what they say, follow the prophet, follow the... People who actively work towards ideal tend to achieve more in life. All true prophets came to remove the excuse for tribalism and fatalism. It is important to distinguish truth and religion from mere reality and tradition. Well, religion can be part of the same, right? Or any other term of spirituality. All philosophy should be inspired by the revelation and inspiration from God upon the prophets. Or at least what you believe to be God. The best rulers tend to be preferred over others by those who believe differently from them. Some of the revival movements are authentic in their intentions and far better than nothing. And what is this? Getting down to basics. I don't even know what this is. Carol Pokranin is probably the most famous and initial to call Western ceremonial magic Western yoga. I don't know if he is the most famous anymore, but the Judeo-Christian Bible talks of taking off the natural man too. The Bhagavad Gita also talks of how choice of what to worship determines the sort of character you have and the type of afterlife you will have. I see encircling rites as cosmological and symbolic rather than raising power. I agree that rituals should not be done because they are rituals, but for relevance. What is this? Ahriman, Zohak, and Kundalini in a nutshell. Another Michael W. Ford video that I have a really spaced out comment from. At least I think there's going to be a comment. Come on, comment. Show yourself. I don't know why my email has paced itself out so much. If other people were noticing, if this happened to them, no wonder why AOL's not kind of... Okay, what is this? Come on, up. Zarathustra did not claim to found a religion, neither did Muhammad, to Jesus and the rest of the Israelite prophets. Mazda Yasna Zarathustra is the oldest name for Kanon Zardosht in the Avestan, for what is called Mazdayastian Zarathustrian. The evidence is more that the Mobed and Magian reworked the faith's tradition a number of times in what may be the last 8,000 years. If Curtis Joseph knew his stuff, he'd know that the Avestas predate most of what we call Hinduism, and the differences in Persian languages. It's a Doctrinum Arcanum thing. And the differences in Persian languages and the, or maybe it's languages of the other four of the 5 tribes are the insults upon the other side rather than him demonizing. If Zarathustra is not a prophet that appeared when the 2 cultures were one or later, but was counteracting a religion, it was clearly the Yazidi faith in its pre-Arabic forms that stretch back historically 15,000 years in archaeological finds, rather than the latter Vedic faith, which has roots in what may go back to extinct tribes of humans, rather than just the civilized human of the past 40,000 years, like the Avestan and possibly older language a Drujvant, if he was a Dava or fallen angel, Firebeing 2, Ahriman was said to help increase him in evils such as murder and blasphemy. Okay, let me see if there's a Zohak, son of Mardas, or Kru-Tasp, persecuted his religious father unto death and did various horrible things till Ahriman supposedly accepted him. It was a Drujvant, okay. Okay, what stuff does? What stuff does? Oh, other language stuff does, okay. Satan is not Lucifer is, I guess, the title I gave the email. For Adun was said to imprison Zohak at the mountain Demavand at the behest of angel Sar-Osh. His hell is that a rooster hearkens the angel, increasing his chain almost before he is to break free from the chains that weaken him at dawn. The Majus, or Magian, or our magician in the old sense, is to pray at dawn, 4 other times too. Is this what you want with your black sun and black flame of transformation and whatever you make it? Physical and spiritual worlds, without being backwards and twisting everything to the dark side. Come on. don't know. Okay, what's this? God is evil, Christian versus Satanist. Okay. I came across another comment. The next video music for God lovers. Brazilian Lodge soundtrack. I guess that's what's going to be said next week. Hey.